there's a common value that threads through the act, and that is the idea of informed consent. It's the idea that we as data subjects, as human beings, we own our personal data. It's precious to us, it's important to us. I suppose the first thing to ask is, what is the act trying to achieve in terms of a culture shift, right?
Right.
So we are a country that does not have the right to privacy in our constitution. The idea of data protection is also fairly new. So this act is actually introducing a concept, a value that is, I wouldn't say foreign, but certainly not something that is familiar within our legal system. So it's a big step, but I think it's an important step in the right direction. And if you take a step back and look at the act as a piece of legislation, there's a common value that threads through the act, and that is the idea of informed consent. It's the idea that we as data subjects, as human beings, we own our personal data. It's precious to us, it's important to us. And if we are going to have some entity, whether it's government entity or a private entity, process our data about ourselves, then we must be fully aware of how that data is going to be used. So informed consent is a very, very important value and principle that threads or runs through the law. I think that that's a very important step in the right direction. So yes, it's ambitious. Yes, it's following in the footsteps of a law that was only a few years ago introduced in a far more sophisticated market like the EU. But at the same time, we have to be prepared for the future, and digitization and e-commerce is the future. So this lays the foundation for an economy that is better equipped to deal with that. So I think as much as this is somewhat new territory and an area of law and a legal vocabulary that is somewhat alien to us, it's a step in the right direction, and over time we will absorb those values and we'll be able to implement it better. And it's better to have a law that meets international standards, meets global sort of benchmarks, than a law that doesn't, and where 2-3 years down the line it's not fit for purpose.